red brick physiotherapy unit that they built in the 1960s. There was also walls that joined the actual front one onto these front buildings here. So this would have been a very secure area. The time capsule, we opened this up in 1994, Easter 1994, we decided to have an open day. So we actually decided to have an open period over the Easter break, and over the 4 days of Easter we had over 4,000 people through here. So that more or less convinced the local council that this was a viable tourist venture and it would bring people into Ararat. And so they then petitioned the government, and for about $200,000 were given the rights to manage this particular complex. We've run it since then, and on average we'd have 10 to 11,000 people through here. All the money that we raise goes back into maintaining facilities and improving the signage and so forth. Any major works, of course, the council will do that for us, and we've got some grants from the government, like for gates and that significant works. Okay, we move round to the buggy shed here. In the 1950s, and he worked in the mental health area, and he was really responsible for improving the conditions of mental health patients right across Victoria and indeed Australia. In the 1940s. It's the colour that is least likely to induce seizures. It's a calming colour. So when you go in that cell, you're supposed to feel calm. Good. You're right. Green. Mint green.
Mint green, like my caravan. Oh, the floor is beautiful.
Yes.
Because that, I remember as a kid when I was in hospital, they used to have walls.
It would have been that colour.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the main cell block. It's a typical standard British jail. It has 2 levels and basically 14 cells on each level. The one up the top there on the left-hand side is a death cell. Followed next to it is the actual warders' smoko room and exercise room. There were 3 executions in the life of the jail here carried out. The last 2 were actually carried out by the same hangman who was responsible for Nick Kelly's hanging in Melbourne. There is a cell at this end that's actually dedicated to the process of hanging and the actual story behind the hangman and their victims. The cell here on the left is a chapel. We did have a patient here in the 1970s, and he was very concerned that there was very few facilities for the clergy to talk to people, and so his family sent over a sizable donation. Take some photos of the plaques and that, quite interesting ones. So what did you want? So he just stayed here. But he was a gentleman. I reckon he was very quiet. Ironically, he ended up one of the heaviest smokers in the whole place, because he really couldn't exist in here without having cigarettes or something like that. But when he was 100, he was having a meal, and the guy next to him said, "Oh, you don't usually have your bread, do you, Bill?" Put his hand across to get his bread. Bill had a fork in the other hand and just went bang, straight for the guy's hand.
Dixie is feeling very anxious about this coming.
But he was someone who...
I'm not sure about this place, are you, Papa?
There's a blackboard just outside. Every morning he would write a couple of names on that blackboard of carers and warders that he would...
Good cow.
Somewhere, so we got set up here. That was his cell there. He actually escaped out of that cell, because when they built this jail, all the cement that they were supposed to use as mortar fell on the docks in Melbourne, because a lot of people wouldn't bring it up, it was too heavy. And so the actual mortar was just limestone and sand. You sprayed it out with fingers if you wanted to. Gary didn't realise this, and one stage they had a nurse's stroke on, and he was able to conceal a sharp object on his body. And when they did this strip search, they weren't experienced enough to find that object. And when he got into the cell there, he retrieved it, got into the adjoining cells, and he knew that was empty and unlocked.
It's kind of scary. Yeah. It's kind of spooky in here, isn't it? Straight up. Wow. So this is where the death row type of thing, is it? Oh, it's just got a spooky vibe, isn't it? You want to hop down, yeah? Crikey. Very weird. It's like in the movies you see, you see them looking. I've never actually been in an actual prison like this. This is crazy. Okay. Look at this. So cool.
The signs of pain.
According to the local paper. This is what? The most modern kitchen, most efficient kitchen. Now, when you come in here, you might feel a sense of a presence. Quite a few people will come in here and they'll really have feel a sensation or something that they're not alone, and they will look around and there's no one near them. So it's an interesting spot. Really eerie. Very eerie. We do get companies come here and they set up their ghost detecting equipment. In the ghost tours, you come down here when it's pitch black, and they turn all the lights off, and it has a certain presence around. A couple of the storerooms there.
Is there anyone particularly that is down here?
I like the wallpaper.
Not every day, when they first arrive here, that would be the general
So spooky.
Often they've been rotting, rubbing and all that.
Cleaned up.
Cleaned up. Just do all that, so and then back up. Okay, when we get up there, get down museum there, and you see that look around there. This is a video that I put on from 1979, I'd like to look at it. Just have a look at that, and then you're free to head off. I'll let you be bacon and all that.
He's full of a lot of knowledge, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's really good.
More than lines and all the buildings.
Last step is big one.
Yeah, he is good. It's a longer step.
It's very hard to conceive one's life work down under a jackhammer. But you once called this place a block on society. It's a block on the society which condones it. It's also been called a scutcheon of mental health. It's called a 90-year-old temporary unit. When you look at this yard though, for instance, you have asphalt, you have high walls. Is that conducive to trying to overcome the problems of the mentally ill? It has its advantages. I think in the type of the mental illness we deal with, most certainly, security itself is therapeutic, and we use it in that way. And these measures that we like to dig our records on the board. There's 900 metres I have here in the last 15 years. I've heard 95% or more have not come back. Don't you think more green grass would be beneficial? Yeah, much better. We're creating the wood along the walls here, a cyclone fence for a group of patients who need less intense security, and they have a park-like atmosphere alongside the vegetable boundary.
Within these walls there's volleyball, some attempted cricket and a small swimming pool. However stark the surroundings may appear, The exercise facilities are said to be better than those in most other closed ward institutions. Again, the patients have their own views.
Well, for instance, Nathan, build a roundabout over there in the corner somewhere, just where Ararat is, a little roundabout, swing over there, let some drive little tricycles, not bicycles, bicycles for tricycles, and there they can spend their extra, instead of fighting and hitting each other, there they can play on the swings and relax and enjoy life.
I don't like the food much. You know what I don't like the food much? I like steak, kidney pie, and big pies and pasties, and they're good food. If I've got good food, and I like chicken rolls, and like sausages, mixed up like rissoles and all that. And like dim sums too.
And you don't get that here.
No, you don't get it there.
Well, I think it's a real good place. I realise that it's an excellent security, but I also think there is plenty of possibility if you do what they tell you and try and settle down to get a chance to go maybe up to Ararat or back to another hospital. There's plenty of activity in the ward, you know, like there's therapy and there's the bingo and they have a barbecue on with all the patients. They all get well looked after. They have bed making in the morning.
But J-Ward is an institution where patients sit fire to their cells and try to hang themselves with bed linen, so security is paramount.
The fact that J-Ward has a high staff patient ratio